Today I wanted to talk all about styling houseplants in your home. I think we've all gone on Instagram and seen photos of these like badass, beautiful, curated homes with like an insane abundance of houseplants, almost like completely an unrealistic ideal that just doesn't really make sense for everyday life. So I wanted to make a video talking about some tips and tricks you can use to style and display houseplants in your house that work well for your lifestyle. So I think one of the first things you should consider when filling your house with houseplants is to consider what type of vibe you're going for. Do you want a lush, tropical, jungle feeling vibe? Do you want something more cacti, southwestern? Or are you maybe just wanting a couple plants here and there for a nice minimalistic vibe? You really want whatever plants you choose to complement your living situation. For example, if you really like cacti, but you live up north where you don't get a lot of sun, maybe that's not the best choice for you. But something that can do well in low light situations such as a pothos or a snake plant may be better suited for your living situation. Next, I would consider what type of plants to buy if you have children or pets. That can change the entire dynamic of what houseplants you want to incorporate in your life, because there are plants that are toxic to dogs and cats. Do you have a toddler who may be yanking on plants, or do you have a dog or a cat that chews on plants? For instance, aloe vera and pothos could be toxic to your cat, and if you know your cat messes with plants, those may be plants to either stay away from or put on a high shelf where your cat maybe can't reach it. I have a dog, but luckily she does not mess with plants. She does not have any interest in it. So I don't mind having plants in my house because I know for a fact my dog does not mess with them. She's almost 6 years old and we've had plants in the house as long as we've had her. So I don't have to worry about that. If you do have kids or you have pets, definitely consider that before you go out and buy a plant. Also, you want to just consider your lifestyle in general. Do you travel a lot? Are you never home? Or are you somebody who maybe works from home, you're a homebody, and you love taking care of things? That's going to be a big factor when you're considering what houseplants to add to your home. If you travel a lot and you're never home, you probably don't want to get something like a fiddle leaf fig or a peace lily, which need a lot more care and attention as opposed to a simple ivy or a cactus. If you are not home that often, or maybe you're just somebody who forgets to water your plants, I would opt for things such as cactus, snake plants, pothos, anything that's just very low maintenance and doesn't need a whole lot of attention. If you want to be more hands-on with your plants, then definitely go for something like a fiddle leaf fig or a bird of paradise, or just any type of plant that maybe needs a little more care because you want to be more hands-on with your plants. Knowing your lifestyle is a huge factor when picking your plants out, because you don't want to be that type of person who travels all the time and comes back to your apartment and you have like 20 dead plants in your apartment because nobody was there to take care of them. Now that you've decided what type of plant parent you're going to be, next you're going to want to decide how you want to display your plants. And this is probably one of the most fun parts of being a plant parent, is just getting creative with the way that you choose to display your plants. Definitely make sure that you are choosing the lighting situation first and foremost. There's so many spots in my apartment I would love to have a plant, but it just doesn't make sense because there's not good enough lighting in that space for a plant. I'm lucky enough to have mostly south-facing windows and an east-facing window, as well as some north-facing windows, so I do get a great amount of sunlight in my apartment. However, I know not all apartments are going to be situated in the right direction to get good sunlight, so definitely consider that as well. What type of light are you getting in your apartment or your house? From there, that gives you an idea of where you need to situate your plants, whether they're going to be close to your south-facing window, or if there's a brighter area of the room they can be in. So before you choose an area in your house for aesthetic only, definitely make sure that it would be a good location for that plant when it comes to sunlight and things like drafts You don't want to place a plant directly below an air vent. In the winter, it may be having hot air blown on it that's going to dry it out, and in the summer, it could have freezing cold AC blasting on it that's going to end up killing it. So definitely just consider the layout of your house or apartment and go from there. Once you have that kind of figured out, there's so much stuff that you can do with plants. You can place them in a beautiful vintage basket. Long plants like pothos can be cascading down a bookshelf or cascading down a piece of furniture. If you have a large plant like a fiddle leaf fig or a bird of paradise or any other large tree, you can kind of make that the centerpiece of one of your rooms, whether it's a dining room or a living room. Small plants can be used on desks. They can be used on bars, tables, windowsills, just to add a little bit more busyness to your space. Plants can be put into vases. You can have cuttings propagating all over your apartment. You can also hang them from the ceiling. You can hang them from beautiful handmade macrame hangers. Plants can add so much color and dimension to a space. They can brighten up a boring bathroom, or they can get your inspiration flowing on your desk by your computer. They can add liveliness to a living room, or they can just make the air feel fresher in the kitchen. Another decorative aspect of plants is that you can choose whatever planter you want. You can choose things from fun baskets, really classic or minimalist concrete planters, as well as something that's more fun or bright or even super unique that actually adds to the look of your plant. There's an infinite amount of planters out there, so there's most likely something that's going to fit your style and your price range. For planters, you can also check out thrift shops. I found a ton of awesome planters from thrift shops. So not only is it good because I'm purchasing something that is better for the environment because it's secondhand, but it's also way less expensive than if I was buying a brand new planter. Whether your style is contemporary, classic, modern, unique, playful, boho, whatever, there is going to be some kind of hanger or planter out there that is going to complement your plant and your style. Some of my favorite ways to use plants as decorations include putting them in decorative vases and jars, cutting them into propagations and then combining them into different propagation stations, and then also using them as centerpieces on a table or a bar and surrounding them with other items like candles and seasonal decorations. One of the coolest things about decorating with plants is that you don't necessarily have to decorate with live houseplants that you have to take care of. You can also decorate with dried and preserved plants. So plants that are preserved, but you don't have to actually take care of them anymore because they're not alive and growing. So for preserved plants, you can do everything from displaying them on a bookshelf or putting them in a vase. We have a dried bunch of grass that we have as a decoration, and it's one of my favorite decorations that we have in our house. The best part about this decoration is that it was totally free. It was just a bunch of grass that we picked out of a field somewhere. So it was completely no cost to us, but I feel like it adds a really cool feeling to our entryway. One of the last things I want to touch on is, even though this video is about how to style plants in your house, I just want everybody to remember that plants are living things, and while they do add so much when it comes to color and feelings and decor to a house, they're also living things that we should be excited to care for. As much as a plant may look awesome tucked into the dark corner of your living room, it's probably not going to be happy. So when I style my plants, first and foremost, I'm thinking of the health of my plant. I want it to get good sunlight. I don't want it to get hit with drafts or hit by the dog's tail when we come into the door, and I don't want it to get burnt from too hot of a window either. So I'm definitely considering the health of my plants first, and then considering aesthetics second. I also want to go ahead and say, if you're a first-time plant owner, it's natural that you're going to kill some plants. It sucks, and it's a real downer, not just because you killed a beautiful plant, but it makes you feel like maybe you're not a good plant parent and maybe you shouldn't have plants. but that's not true. The people who you think have the best green thumbs have green thumbs because they put so much energy and effort into taking care of their plants. I have killed numerous plants over the years, and with each killed plant, I do admit I get a little bit better with plants. I don't kill plants very often anymore, but it's not something to beat yourself up over. Most people end up killing plants because they are loving them too hard. They're probably overwatering them, and from there they get root rot and die. So just remember that not everybody is just an amazing plant parent at first. It does take time. It takes a little bit of dedication and just learning on your end. But I promise, as long as you put in a little bit of effort, I guarantee you will become a great plant parent in no time. Well, that is it for this video on how to style plants in your house. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I hope that you got something valuable out of it. If you do have houseplants, I'd love to see comments below of what kind of vibe you have created in your house with your houseplants and how you feel that they've contributed to your overall space. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time.